pero sí, depende cómo juegue el rival.
Referee is Robert Sibiga making his All-Stars debut, who is about to get the action started. All-Stars in the white, Juventus in their change kit. Off and underway. It is the most diverse All-Star squad ever assembled. Players born in 17 different countries, 20 of them internationals. Indeed, many believe it is the strongest All-Star squad ever named. Tonight they get to prove it. Looking for their first win in this fixture since beating Tottenham in 2015. Illustrious opponents Juventus have their own agenda though, so despite an onus on entertainment, there should still be a competitive edge to proceedings, Stuart Robson.
Absolutely, some top-class players out on the field. Juventus are in their pre-season training. They want to get their game shape right, their game structure. They'll be working hard. Players want to impress. The same with these All-Stars. And these All-Stars will also know that they're only going to play for 45 minutes, so they can put everything into this first period.
They'll be back with their clubs at the weekend, hence the rotation policy. Fortato Martino tonight. Juventus looking to attack with Alexandro right from the start. Brad Guzan comes and deals with the danger.
There's Sami Khedira, who didn't have the best of World Cups for Germany. He's very poor in the first game, trying to make that forward run.
Played twice for his country in Russia. Those surprise defeats against Mexico and South Korea, hence the fact that he is here with Juventus as part of this pre-season tour. Those that made the knockout stages still back in Turin. They started training at the start of this week. Those that made the final, Mario Mandzukic and Les Matuidi in particular, are still on holiday. Because of that, options up front for Juventus are certainly limited tonight. Andrea Favili's been leading the line with a couple of goals against Bayern on this tour.
He's a good young player, leads the line well. There's the manager of the All-Stars team, Tata Martino, and what a job he's done at Atlanta United. Both with his coaching and by bringing in some very good players. Mainly that man there, Martinez. What a season, or a couple of seasons he's had for Atlanta.
24 goals already this season, 10 in his last 6 matches. He's scored in all of them. The record for a single season in MLS is 27 goals. He's 3 short of that with 11 games still to go to break the record. Currently shared by Bradley Wright-Phillips, who's on the bench for the All-Stars. He's already conceded that record will go. And to the current Supporters' Shield leaders as the host club this year for the first time. Here's another of their star men, Almiron, linking with his clubmate Martinez. Decision goes against him.
Piatti trying to get involved as well. The Montreal man can be criticised at times. Martinez for his link-up play. He's very good when he's running in behind. When the ball comes to him here, his touch isn't a particularly good one. Just in behind Piatti.
He's again, Joseph Martinez, heavily involved in these opening exchanges.
And once again, it's not a particularly good pass from him. Just need to cushion that into Piatti.
Rio trying to cushion that back to his goalkeeper, only just got enough on it for Brad Guzan. I want to thank him for that. And Carlos Vela. Sibiga right there will award the free kick.
Bernardeschi coming in from that far side, just catching Almiron. There's the Atlanta United goalkeeper, Brad Guzan. Not sure he's been in his best form since he's come back to Atlanta.
At the age of 33, he's making his All-Stars debut. First voted into the squad without playing back in 2007, before his decade in English football. He was one of those voted by the fans into this year's team. No coincidence, maybe, as the host club, there were 6 Atlanta players who made the fans' 11. One of them, Darlington Nagbe, had to withdraw through injury. 3 of them, including Guzan, starting under Tata Martino tonight. There's Aaron Long of the New York Red Bulls, who has plenty of club mates for company as well. Murillo and Adams also in the starting lineup. Wright-Phillips on the bench. This is Almiron. Was down by Bernardeschi, back doing his defensive duties. Plenty of early possession for the All-Stars. There is Tyler Adams, who only found out on Sunday afternoon he'd been called up for this All-Stars game because of the withdrawals of Ibrahimovic and David Villa. Rio there, the fullback, the furthest forward, but couldn't quite get on the end of the cross.
Oh, I think you see that quite a bit. Carlos Vela has gone infield. Murillo trying to get forward from right back. It was Ring that tried to play the ball. He's had a good season, Ring, for New York City FC. Really tough tackling midfield player, tries to dominate games.
He's one of Tata Martino's picks for the squad. Mentioned the 11 voted for by the fans. Don Garber, the commissioner, had a couple of picks, went for Bradley Wright-Phillips and Alphonso Davies. And Tata Martino got to select the rest, and indeed the starting 11. Only had a couple of days, though, to work with this squad. They all joined up in Atlanta after the MLS weekend on Monday. Open training session here at the stadium for both of these sides yesterday.
Good to see Barzali playing for Juventus again. Thought about retiring, but stayed on for another year.
There's Almiron. He's being heavily linked at the moment with a move to a top European club. It's a chance to showcase his skills. Didn't quite work out for him on that occasion. You can see there that Brad Guzan has the earpiece in. It's an all-star novelty.
It's all right, as long as he doesn't make a mistake. Really good midfield for Juventus playing tonight. Pjanic, new boy Emre Can, and of course Khedira, who's got something to prove after his poor World Cup.
There's Alexandro flying forward from full-back, very much the first choice in that position, the Brazilian. Long, who was in the way.
There's been a lot of talk of Alexandro going elsewhere. Whether he's playing as a wing-back or a normal left-back. He's a really good attacking player.
Flicked across the face of goal, rather dangerously by Favilli. That wasn't quite as dangerous from João Cancelo. One of the big money summer signings for Juventus. Piatti with the ball forward, asking Martinez to chase it, and he'll get there. Joseph Martinez, Vela lurking in the middle as well. Rugani away.
Well, if it's a race in behind between Barzali and Martinez, Martinez is always going to win that. Barzali was struggling there. Set the play up to start with, then spun in behind the experienced Italian international.
There's Murillo, Almiron, Martinez, no way through. Well, we're back by Calvo though, and options here for the All-Stars. There's Piatti, a man from Montreal. Getting a nod ahead of the reigning MVP Diego Valeri to start the game. Juventus at the moment content to allow the All-Stars plenty of possession in this part of the pitch. Pjanic then quickly closed down by Alexander Ring. Barzali under pressure as well. We'll go back to Wojciech Szczesny, starting the season as Juve's first choice goalkeeper. Gianluigi Buffon moving on, of course, to PSG after those 17 seasons in Turin. Now space here for Bernardeschi. Emre Can was just checking his run. Bernardeschi's going to take it on himself. He does love to do that. Cutting in from the right on the left foot, but it's pretty comfortable for Guzan.
Yeah, it was a good break from Juventus. Very much a left-footed player. Just chops it inside of Long to get the shot away. Fairly comfortable height in the end for Brad Guzan.
He's on with a little bit to prove, maybe. Bernardeschi, the start of his second season since that €40 million move from Fiorentina. 5 goals in Serie A last year. Plenty of competition for his place when the team get back to Turin.
Yeah, Cuadrado, and there's Douglas Costa.
Long ball over the top might find Martinez. Alexandre back defending. Martinez will get to it. Support here from Carlos Vela. Almiron calling for it and gets it. Didn't really get the time for the shot.
Well, if they didn't know already, Juventus, they should do, because he played for Torino, Martinez, that he can run in behind, and they will look to play balls in behind that back four of Juventus. They might have to drop that little bit deeper.
And Long stretching to get to that one first, as he had to do. Martinez certainly in much improved form in MLS to that which he showed playing for Torino. 43 goals in 43 games in Major League Soccer, 13 goals in 76 appearances for Torino, although in fairness he was often played out wide or in behind the striker, wasn't he? Never maybe really got a regular run. Featured twice off the bench for Torino against Juventus in derby games during his time in Serie A. Simon to clear that one away. Former MLS Defender of the Year, making his second All-Stars appearance. He shifted into space, and the shot when it came was hit with some venom, but hit straight at Brad Guzan.
That's what he can do so well, Bernardeschi. Again, you mentioned it, coming inside onto his left foot. There's one look, just dips it, bounces awkwardly in front of Brad Guzan. He's a good player if he's given his opportunity.
13 caps, I should say, for Italy. It hasn't played since their failed World Cup playoff against Sweden back in November for his country. Pietti's effort there blocked away by João Cancelo, who was hoping for more international game time of his own with Portugal because of his move to the Italian champions. Spent last season with Inter. Paid about 40 million euros to bring him in. Player that made his name at Benfica. And featured against his former club at the weekend, actually, in the International Champions Cup. Ended up playing left wing. He's at right back tonight, showing his versatility. Conceding the corner, which is taken short. Simon had stayed up from the back. Wasn't able to get anything on it. This is Murillo. And Simon again, back to Michael Murillo. And it needed the touch from Pjanic, back doing his defensive duties to concede the corner.
He's looking to get forward at every opportunity. Murillo down this right-hand side. Plays the ball wide, continues his run. Pjanic does well to get across there in the end. Doesn't dive in. His toe pokes it away for a corner.
Murillo, one of 5 players in this All-Stars squad that was also on World Cup duty in the summer when Panama made the finals for the first time. And there's Tyler Adams, who for the last 2 years has played in the MLS homegrown game. Now taking centre stage. So the corner comes in and it actually required the fingertips of Szczesny just to make sure that didn't creep into the top corner.
There's the ball. It's a good header. Hits the crossbar rather than Szczesny making the save. Does well to get beyond Barzali. Just for a moment there, he was struggling, the goalkeeper, Szczesny.
Aaron Long showcasing his threat maybe from set-piece situations. Couple of goals for the Red Bulls this season from centre-back.
Interesting that Calvo is playing at left-back. He can also play as a centre-half.
Playing almost really at left-back by default because he's the only player, I think, in the squad that has any sort of experience in that position. Obviously, Yotun may be aside, although he's much more of a midfielder these days.
There's the closing down from Ring. He loves to win the ball back. He's didn't do too much wrong. The referee decided it was a free kick. There's a manager that many thought, or head coach that many thought would be going somewhere else. He's done very well in his time at Juve.
4 successive doubles in his 4 years in charge. Incredible record.
And 2 finals, 2 Champions League finals. Unfortunately, not the right result for Juve in either of them.
Once again here his team. Hooked in dangerously, and the header from Favili wasn't too far away.
Well, Piatti tried a little nutmeg in the midfield, lost possession. Suddenly, Juventus had players in the box. It was a good delivery. Favili is good in the air, the youngster. Gets in behind Simon. Well, he should do better once he's made the contact.
Favili brought back from a couple of seasons on loan at Ascoli in Serie B, but we understand the deal's already been done for him to join up with Genoa once they get back from their US tour. Both of the goals in the 2-0 victory against Bayern in Philadelphia at the start of the tour a week ago.
I think we could hear what Calvo thought about that.
He didn't need to be mic'd up Brad Guzan style, did he, for that message to come across. There's Alexandro, closed down by Murillo. And by Alexandro again, out by Laurent Simon.
It's going to be interesting as the season goes on how Ronaldo fits into this Juventus side. Likewise, Dybala, who's probably just going to play in behind him. Who plays in the wide areas? Douglas Costa, Cuadrado, Bernardeschi, who we're seeing here today.
Not short of options, are they? And of course, the odd man out, Gonzalo Higuain, all set to complete his move to AC Milan, initially on loan. Just thought he'll have his medical either tomorrow or Friday.
And surprisingly, with Bonucci going the other way. Someone that's had his differences with Max Allegri in the past.
Just a year after he made the move to the San Siro. Plenty of transfer activity still ongoing on the field. This is promising for Juventus. They pushed Rugani up from centre-back. We'll have further competition for his place if Bonucci does come back. He couldn't quite profit there.
He's never really been a starter, has he, Rugani? Very highly rated. I've heard all throughout the summer that Chelsea were interested in him, but it doesn't look as though he's going to go now.
It'll be his 4th season at Juventus after his move from Empoli. Did score on the last day of last season, the victory against Verona. By when, of course, that 7th title in succession had already been secured. It's Michael Murillo that's down. And if there is any hint of an injury concern on an occasion like this, the change will be made immediately, but I think Murillo probably going to be all right. Talking to the TV presenters, by the way, is Brad Guzan.
I know those TV presenters as well, quite well, having worked with them. They will do a lot of talking, let me tell you.
They seem to be keeping him pretty busy, don't they, in the early stages here? Maybe more so, actually, so far than the Juventus attack.
He's a confident goalkeeper. He's good with his feet, Brad Guzan. Good time in England.
Szczęsny also had plenty of experience of English football, and quite so well for him at Arsenal. Big gloves to fill, those of Gigi Buffon. He does have competition for that spot with the arrival of Mattia Perin, another Italian international for this season from Genoa. He's on the bench, might see him later. A free kick for the challenge by Ring.
Yeah, the referee just telling Ring to calm down. That's a 2nd or 3rd foul he's given away. And alongside Adams, it's a very competitive midfield in the MLS All-Stars.
New York-based midfield. Adams of the Red Bulls, Ring of NYCFC, who was actually suspended. Yellow card accumulation for their defeat at Seattle at the weekend. It showed, I think, just how much they missed him.
Well, they're also missing Herrera at the moment, aren't they? The Venezuelan youngster who's out injured.
Emre Can helping it on here to the young Brazilian, Matheus Pereira, to whip it in dangerously. And it's a perfectly placed header into the corner from Favilli. It is Juventus that strike first. Not much that Guzan could do about that one. And Andrea Favilli has been in really good goal-scoring form on this US tour. Opens the scoring against the All-Stars.
Well, the switcher play allows Alexandro a bit of time on the ball. He's not closed down quickly enough. There's the overlapping run. It's actually Pereira that floats the ball in, and what a cross it is. It's Alexandro that makes the overlapping run. Simon is the wrong side of Favilli, but what a good header. Just lets it glance off his forehead. Nothing that Brad Guzan can do about it. That's a really good goal from Juventus. And he looks a very promising striker at the moment.
Well, they had to weather an early period of All-Stars possession, did Juve. They've been growing into the game, and now they lead the game. Favilli got those 2 against Bayern last week. Scored his last competitive goal for Ascoli at Carpi back in November in Serie B. He'll be off to Genoa after this competition. He's off in pursuit of the ball again here, but Guzan had read the danger.
Well, he's shown that he can do those things you want a centre-forward to do. He can head the ball, he can run in behind. That was good movement from him. The pass wasn't quite good enough, just allowed Long to get back. They're certainly causing problems down this left-hand side. Juve, Pereira and Alexandro. Here they go again.
Has to link up well before Alexandro delivers and Aaron Long clears.
A little back heel here in between 2 defenders. Alexandro just trying to pass it between the goalkeeper and the defender. Didn't have enough pace on it to get it to Favilli.
Midway point of the first half. Alexandro with the throw. Hasn't got it away yet. Pjanic was in there, Emre Can still in there. Liverpool appearance at the end of an injury-hit season. Was, of course, off the bench in the Champions League final before he made that free transfer move to Turin at the end of his contract under a 4-year deal with Juve. Going down looking for the free kick here.
Hardly seen anything of Carlos Vela so far. 23 minutes into the game. Seen very little of Piatti. I have to say, Almiron, who's been an inspirational player for Atlanta United over the last couple of years, he's been very quiet as well.
He's just beaten to that one by Rugani, was Almiron, now Pjanic. Juve on top just at the moment.
And now they've got a goal up, they're playing with that little bit of swagger now.
They are unbeaten on this US tour through their first couple of games, with Real Madrid to come as the flag goes up against João Cancelo.
Yeah, I think Khedira was slow to see the pass there. Cancelo had made a really good run.
The MLS All-Stars had to come from behind against Real Madrid in this fixture last season. They did so just 3 minutes from time with a Dom Dwyer equaliser, which forced a penalty shootout. Of course, no possibility of extra time. And a big 2-1 by Arsenal the previous year. The last victory was against Tottenham in Colorado. And Kaká and David Villa were the goal scorers. So Harry Kane on target for Spurs that day.
Some good goal scorers playing in that game.
Robert Lewandowski got the opener the year before and the game against Bayern in Portland. Certainly is a fixture which attracts the star names. Increasingly so in recent years. As Carlos Vela did well to keep his feet. Piatti taking over. Taking on João Cancelo, support from Almiron. And Tyler Adams, who made the run. Well, it's whipped it dangerously for Martinez. He was unselfish in nodding it back. Carlos Vela going for goal. Still not yet out of play. Martinez to try and turn it in. And he succeeded in doing so. To level it up, a poacher's finish from right on the line. Everything he touches turns to goals at the moment, and the All-Stars are level in Atlanta.
Well, it's a goal made by the Atlanta United players. First of all, the cross from Almiron, whipped in behind. Now, Martinez isn't the biggest player, but he's got a great leap on him just to get it back into the danger area. There was Vela with the first shot. Szczesny can't tip it round the post, and he does what he so often does. He's first to the ball, in and around the 6-yard box. There's the equaliser, and what a good one it was. Szczesny should do better. Piatti just heads it back into the danger area, and what a brave header it is from that man there, Martinez. There's Szczesny, he's got to push that over the bar, then can't get to the second one. Piatti does well, just gets it back into the danger area. And Alexandro is second best to Martinez.
Again, showcasing his hunger for goals. Player has scored 24 times in MLS through 23 games so far this season. On his All-Stars debut, put his head in where it might have hurt to get yet another goal.
But when that first cross came in from Almiron, it looked like it was going to be too long, but that's what he does so well. Got great spring. Not only did he get up and head it, he heads it back into a danger area.
Juventus looking to respond. Murillo away though, and Calvo will complete the job. Zach Steffen, I think, teammate for this All-Stars game of Columbus Crew, put it best of anyone that I heard when talking about Martinez and his hunger for goals. He says he approaches every match as if it looks like he's promised himself he won't be able to eat unless he scores. He is that desperate to get on the score sheet. And even Bradley Wright-Phillips, one of his nearest, albeit distant rivals for the Golden Boot this season, says he doesn't have that same sort of single-mindedness. He's never known a player like Martinez in MLS who has that single-mindedness in front of goal. He will do anything to get himself on the score sheet, and he has done so again here, and it's changed the mood of the match.
Certainly has. Vela now getting on the ball, Almiron getting on the ball. Murillo still trying to make those forward runs from right back.
Here is Mateus Pereira. Having got his goal, we're hearing that Joseph Martinez's work is almost done for the evening, and Sebastian Giovinco will come on for him very shortly.
Well, Tata Martino might be hoping that he can spare his legs. He's the manager at Atlanta United. Got some big games coming up. Top of the Supporters' Shield at the moment.
Big games coming up, including against Giovinco's Toronto, actually, at the weekend.
An improving Toronto side as well at the moment.
And the champions are picking up, as is Giovinco, who scored in his last couple of games. Might be space here for the shot for Pjanic, though. There was. Fielded comfortably enough by Brad Guzan.
Anybody that watches games here at this stadium will know that they aren't booing Brad Guzan. That's the cry they put out when he makes a save.
It's become a very familiar one, hasn't it, in these parts. Here's Emre Can. Tyler Adams snapping at his heels. Another linked with a move to European football. Potentially staying within the Red Bulls group. And going to Germany with Leipzig, following his former Red Bulls coach Jesse Marsch. That's a story that he's staying pretty tight-lipped on just at the moment. Now Sami Khedira for Juventus. Favili with a touch, Pjanic. Simon was able to cut it out. And now the counter, Piatti with Almiron and Vela in support. Here is Carlos Vela towards Miguel Almiron, not quite into his path. But he could still make something of it here. Piatti taking over.
Well, I thought it was a very good pass from Carlos Vela. Just looked as though Almiron misjudged the flight of the ball there. Chance of a counter-attack. Vela, Almiron, very quick players. So too Martinez. It's been a decent first 30 minutes here. Some controlled play by Juve. Some pacey counter-attacks by the MLS All-Stars.
Well, a raft of substitutions here. 4 changes just past the half-hour mark. All part of the plan, I think, from Tata Martino. He is taking off his goal scorer. Joseph Martinez has done what he came to do, maybe, and get his goal. Sebastian Giovinco, who will be a direct opponent at the weekend when Atlanta take on Toronto here, is coming on in his place to face his former club. Turin-born Giovinco. Spent a decade with Juventus before his move to Canada. Really looking forward to this reunion, and it's an earlier reunion for him with this introduction just half an hour in. Piatti and Tyler Adams also coming off, and so too Francisco Calvo. Alphonso Davies introduced into the action, the man who's heading to Bayern Munich in January at the end of the MLS season.
Now, if you think Almiron's quick and Martinez is quick, Davies is even quicker, particularly when he's running the ball like he is now.
Tata Martino revealed he was planning to use him at fullback. but expect to see the majority of him up the other end from that position.
There's another Atlanta United player. Barco has come on.
And here Jonathan Dos Santos, the other two replacements. Now Barco actually was voted into the fans' 11 by the supporters, but he hasn't been in the Atlanta squad for the last couple of matches because of a breach of club discipline. Tata Martino said he couldn't accept that, had to take action. He hasn't been involved in the last couple of match days, but the decision wasn't Tata Martino's today. He had to be in the squad because the fans had spoken. He's called Barco into action pretty early on in proceedings. The MLS record signing is in his first year since that $15 million move from Independiente.
There is Giovinco. He was always the nearly man at Juventus. Struggled to get in the side at times. Had good games, but wasn't effective enough. Santos has gone into midfield to take the place of Adams.
That'll be a straight swap. There's the danger that these changes can disrupt the rhythm a little bit, particularly so early in the game. And it will set the tone for the evening. There'll be more.
The positive aspect is that the players won't get tired, so they can play at a high tempo and go and close the ball down. They can make those counter-attacking runs. Pjanic does well just to play around the pressure there. Now a chance for Juve to counter.
Led by their goal scorer, Favili. Covered good ground. Claiming he was caught by Alexander Ring. Referee Sibiga saw it differently.
Favili's shown he's also got a bit of pace and power.
Impressed last year for Italy at the Under-20 World Cup. Favili.
I've seen him at Under-17 level, Under-19 level European Championships, and at the World Under-20. Here's that run again, just drives past a couple of players. Ring actually puts his arm on his shoulder, but he is going down fairly early. Maybe a good decision by the referee. We haven't had to use it yet, but VAR is in operation here tonight.
For the first time at an All-Stars game, Alex Chilowicz, the video assistant referee. There's been a rapid rise for Robert Sibiga, the man in the middle. And he took his first MLS match in 2015. Only given a full-time refereeing contract a year ago. His other career as an estate agent currently on hold. We'll be hoping for a fairly quiet evening, won't he, in a game such as this, usually played in a really decent spirit.
One or two players getting annoyed at the moment. Emre Can was disappointed he didn't win a free kick. Has just had a kick out at another player, and then had a go at the referee. Can be temperamental at times, Emre Can.
Player that Liverpool were keen to keep, but he had his heart set on that move to Turin. First ever football coach when he was a 6-year-old at school, was a big Juventus fan apparently, and told him one day he would play for Juventus. And that came true this summer. He hopes it is only the start of a great story for him in Italy.
I bet he only told that story once he was at Juventus.
I'm sure he did. He told it at his official unveiling, unsurprisingly.
Yeah.
By Jonathan Dos Santos, whose brother Giovanni played for the All-Stars last year and actually missed in the penalty shootout against Real Madrid. Carlos Vela, his international colleague, towards Giovinco. They're still good friends with Claudio Marchisio on the Juventus bench. They played for the Primavera side, the Juventus youth team, together all those years ago.
Good defending by Long. Got decent pace. The Red Bull centre-half.
He's having a really good season, isn't he? Only his second season in Major League Soccer. Previously at Portland and Seattle without getting a game. A real rock for the Red Bulls now. As Almiron gets his head down and charges forward. Support either side. This is Giovinco taking over. And Giovinco trying to tee one up for Barco. Ushik Szczesny in position to make the save, but the All-Stars looking a real threat.
And Almiron so quick with the ball, starting that counter-attack. The Juventus players were never going to get back at him. The timing of the pass was perfect. Giovinco with a little chip to the far post as well. They're enjoying the game at the moment, these MLS All-Stars.
Relishing opportunities such as this, certainly. There's Carlos Vela. Back to Almiron again. At the heart of everything just at the moment. Second All-Stars appearance in his second year in MLS. He was the newcomer of the year last season. There goes Barco again. He's given it away, though, rather casually to Sami Khedira. Mateus Pereira will get there, ahead of Murillo. Finds Emre Can. One trying to get back to him.
Slightly off the plate pace at the moment, Emre Can.
On at half-time against Benfica at the weekend, but he did start against Bayern last week. There's Giovinco, just watched wide by Szczesny. But how Giovinco would love a goal against his hometown team.
Well, they're not really playing with the centre-forward at the moment. Here's that previous opportunity. Dos Santos won the ball back. Look at the pace from Almiron. Just goes past Barzali and Emre Can. Szczesny just getting across, makes another good save. Just a nice height for him, though. But there's the player of the moment, and a quiet first 25 minutes, but since then, it's been outstanding.
And it's his pace with the ball that's so impressive, and it seems to be quicker with it than without it.
I think we've said it several times. You're absolutely right. Seems to be quicker with the ball than he is when he's actually running without it.
Giacomo pretty quick on this occasion. He's just held up by Davies, doing his defensive duties in that nominal left-back role. Still only 17 years of age. What a story. Now as the flag gone up, it has, against Almiron.
Barzali wasn't sure. That understanding between the Atlanta United players again. Barco with the pass. Almiron just goes across the front of Barzali. Oh, he's not offside. He's onside. The assistant referee should have kept his flag down. If Almiron scores, they could still go and look back at it. Great run from Almiron, who's now playing through the centre-forward position. Giovinco playing just in behind him.
He's relishing it, isn't he, Almiron? If anything, he's benefited from the changes in terms of his influence on the game. Pjanic's just going to run out of room. Simon was across covering anyway. Set to sign a new long-term contract, Milan Pjanic, the Bosnian international, after the summer where he's been the subject of much speculation. Premier League clubs linked.
What an outstanding turnout by these fans in one of the best arenas in world football. He's going to be a star, isn't he, Alphonso Davies?
He will be playing top-level European opposition regularly once he gets to Munich.
Well, let's hope that he gets some starts.
He finished the season with Vancouver first. He came through their ranks and has made such an impact in such a short period of time. See what Juventus can do from the free kick. Floated in, almost reaches Favili. Well, it did, but he couldn't quite control it. A little fortunate maybe that it did get that far.
Here we go, Davies.
Almost in full flight, wasn't it? Before being pulled back, but there is a yellow card out there for the challenge on him.
Pereira, the player, chasing back, and then he gave a sarcastic clap to the referee. Here's the delivery. I think he would have been offside had he scored there. Favili. And then you see the run and the pace. There's where he gets his yellow card. Nothing going on here. It was the initial grab by Pereira, and quite rightly booked.
There's Murillo. Giovinco. Last couple of minutes of this first half. Alexander Ring. Now Davies. Very confident in possession, the MLS All-Stars at the end of this half. Giovinco gets it back from Carlos Vela. Lovely little flick. Jonathan Dos Santos trying to return it to him. Almost, but not quite.
At the moment, the MLS All-Stars are playing the more creative football. Some lovely combination play, played at a very high tempo.
Here's Alexandro, who was the Brazilian that went into the book a moment ago. And Pjanic. Not going to be anything added on. We're here at the end of the 45. It does look as if these sides will head in at the interval all square before the massed changes continue. Interesting to see how Juventus approach it, whether they'll give their starting lineup an hour or so, we shall see. But it is all square at half-time. Juventus in front through the visitors 1-1 at the break. Changes being made for the start of this second half. MLS All-Stars coming back from behind after Andrea Favili had put Juve in front. Joseph Martinez with the equaliser shortly before he was taken off. 4 changes were made just past the half hour. And more planned now by Tata Martino. As referee Robert Sibiga gets ready to get the second half started. Fagioli getting ready to get the action restarted here. He's one of the half-time changes made by Juventus. Luca Clemenza just coming on there as well. They got their goal against Benfica at the weekend in the International Champions Cup. Both sides had spells in the ascendancy in that first half. It remains to be seen how the changes will impact proceedings from here on in. We're just checking that everybody who should be out there is out there. Changing the Juventus goal as well. The new signing Matteo Perin getting 45 minutes. Juventus get the action underway again, having made 8 changes to their starting 11 at this juncture. Including maybe Benatia, who's on at centre-back here. Early opportunity for the All-Stars in right from the off almost in their second half.
Well, there's a mistake by Benatia, who gave the ball away cheaply. And there was a big chance for Ellis. Hits it straight at Perin, making his save. Valeri was on as well. That was a big opportunity for the substitute.
Good goal-scoring form for the Houston Dynamo as Albert Ellis. Still the danger from the corner.
Well, he's playing on that right-hand side, Elise. That was a big chance, just tried to side-foot it past the goalkeeper. Called into action straight away, but it was a mistake by Benatia. Shilio, another player that's on. Very accomplished fullback, playing at left-back here. Can play at right-back as well. Cancelo is still in the right-back slot.
Shilio also came on at half-time against Benfica at the weekend and did play that right-back role, which saw João Cancelo go to left wing. And they're on opposite flanks in this one. Max Allegri rotates his defensive options. Giorgiaa playing it forward. There's Clemenza. What a wonderful goal against the Portuguese side. Now Leandro Fernandes, the young Dutchman. Another of the half-time changes brought in January from PSV Eindhoven's youth ranks, looking to make an impact on this trip.
Touch was just a fraction too big. Threatened to cross it with his left foot, dragged it back onto his right, but once again, good defensive play from Long. He's been excellent as centre-back.
Clemenza going for the spectacular. Stepping straight into the action. Still just 21 years of age. Joined Juventus back in 2011. He's yet to make a competitive senior debut. He was also on loan at Ascoli in Serie B last season. Of the Italian under-20 internationals. A lot of this side played their football previously for the Primavera club, the youth ranks in Turin. There's been a change of coach for this coming season, actually, with Francesco Baldini returning to his club, former club, where he spent much of his playing careers, to take charge of that Primavera side. They lost 5 of their 6 games, actually, in the UEFA Youth League last season, disappointingly. It's Valeri with the ball forward, looking to orchestrate things straight away since his half-time introduction, the reigning MLS MVP.
And he's going to play in that midfield area, just in behind Giovinco. Still going to see Davies play at left-back, almost as a left wing-back at times, trying to get forward down this near side.
Number 6 there, Ilya Sanchez, the Spaniard from Sporting Kansas City. They have given the ball away. Options certainly for Juventus. Clemenza again. What for Zach Steffen to do on for Brad Guzan in goal for the second half. That was always part of the plan as well. The man from Columbus Crew was Tata Martino's pick for this squad. Guzan, his club keeper, voted into the 11 by the fans. There's Barco, and brought on just over half an hour in. He did have that chance towards the end of the first half. He's going to be pulled back here. With the All-Stars getting the free kick, Valeri looking to take it quickly, whilst the referee was still in conversation with Leandro Fernandes. Giovinco, Valeri.
There's so many youngsters on for Juventus. Great opportunity here for the MLS All-Stars to dominate the game.
This is Jonathan Dos Santos. Long to Davies. He's the player that Giorgio Chiellini, the Juventus captain, singled out at the press conference yesterday as the one he was most looking forward to facing. Giovinco finding Valeri. Portland Timbers' main man delivering dangerously.
Looking for Barco making that run. Two smallest players on the field, Giovinco and Barco. Both trying to get in the box there.
Santos combining with Ilya Sanchez in the midfield. And getting it back again. Here's Ilya once more. Valeri comes into this in really good form, actually. 7 assists in his last 5 games for the Timbers. And 7 goals on the season as well, their all-time record scorer. Cancelo, one of the 3 to keep his place for the second half for Juventus. Just a reminder, of course, that if it does stay at 1-1 or level after 90 minutes, we will go straight to a penalty shootout. It was the manner of victory for Real Madrid a year ago. Juventus were involved in a shootout against Benfica at the weekend. They come forward here through Clemenza, just too far ahead of João Cancelo, and now there's going to be space vacated by him. Just didn't quite have it fully under control, Barco, to his very obvious frustration.
Yeah, good recovery run from Clemenza, even given the ball away, chase back. He's been in and out at times, Barco, this season, since he's joined Atlanta United. Seen him play some really good games. Also been a bit erratic at times.
Still trying to justify that record transfer fee, maybe, but he is still just 19 years of age, Ezequiel Barco. He's calling for it again here, and we'll get it from Giovinco. Look to combine again. Just about ran out of room, Barco, on that occasion.
Well, that's what he can do. He starts to run at defenders. Sometimes he'll try and go past them. Other times he'll play little square 1-2s. He's got a good understanding with Almiron. He's no longer on the field.
Confirmation of the second half lineup for Juventus at the bottom of your screen, incorporating those 8 half-time substitutions. Much more youthful-looking lineup. This has generally been the case. And this now their 3rd fixture out in the USA. Previous games in Philadelphia and New Jersey. They played at the Red Bull Arena against Benfica at the weekend. And off to Maryland to meet Real Madrid after this at the weekend, before ending their 13-day stay in the USA. Currently still unbeaten on the trip. All part of their preparations, of course, for that season opener against Chievo. The first game it will be of the new Serie A season.
One of the substitutes that's come on for the MLS All-Star, Matt Hedges, playing alongside Long in the centre-half position. Number 24.
And he's come on for Simon. The MLS All-Star side confirmed for you for the second half. They made 4 changes, as we mentioned, after half an hour, a further 6 during the half-time break. Alan Long is the only player now that started the game that is still out there. He's actually already played longer than Tata Martino had hinted anybody would during the game.
And he's proved to be a very good coach, hasn't he, this man here, Max Allegri. Did a good job for AC Milan. Won the title with them. He wasn't very popular when he first turned up at Juventus after Antonio Conte. Fans weren't sure about him, but he certainly turned things around.
First manager in history in Europe's top 5 leagues to win 4 consecutive doubles. In addition to those 2 final appearances in the Champions League. Second season running, he's been nominated for the FIFA Coach of the Year. An 11-man shortlist. The voting open until later in the month. That's Diego Valeri slipping it through towards the run of Elise, the Honduran international. Looking lively since he came on, but he couldn't quite find a way past Benatia. Had another go, though. And support now from Barco to keep the danger alive. Played only as far as Sebastian Giovinco. Again, he's looking for Barco. They've tried that a couple of times.
It's good play from Elise to start with, the run down the side here. Tries to trick Benatia, threatens to shoot with his right foot, tries to go between the legs of Benatia, but he's a good defender. What an introduction he's had to MLS over the last couple of years, Giovinco. It's been excellent for Toronto.
His fourth season with them now, 61 goals, 47 assists in 104 regular season appearances in Major League Soccer. Quite some record. He was the MVP in his first season in 2015, newcomer of the year. He won the Golden Boot as well. Hasn't really looked back. Part of their treble-winning team last season, a key part of that team. And hinting that he might be getting back to his best form with goals in his last couple of matches, both actually against Chicago Fire. Zusi playing it forward to Valeri.
Struggling to get out here at the moment, Juventus.
Still Barco, it's a strong run. Nothing at the end of it.
I have to give Tata Martino a lot of credit for the way he set this team up. He's only had a couple of days to work with them. Seems to know the shape. Seems to be a good understanding between the players. What are Juve fans in amongst this massive crowd here? Going to see Bradley Wright Phillips by the looks of it.
Yeah, 4 more changes being ready to think here. Stanios looking for options. Cypriot international in the heart of the Juventus midfield. Clearance was pretty effective from Matt Hedges. Bunker's been heavily involved since his introduction. Is he, though, one of those about to be withdrawn here as the changes keep on coming?
Well, he doesn't want to play his own players for too long, does he, by the looks of it?
It's looking that way.
Martino. Of course, he's, as you mentioned earlier, not been in favour.
Well, he'll perhaps be hoping for more game time because he hasn't been getting it with Atlanta in the last couple of matches. Decent strike is straight at Zach Steffen, but still the threat here. João Cancelo just didn't quite have the angle. It looks like he has now reverted to that left wing role, having started at right back.
There's the strike. Fagioli hit it really well. It starts to just swerve on the goalkeeper. That's why he punches it, Steffen.
Still the threat from the corner, which was a good one. Played out towards Clemenza, who was always stretching when he tried to connect with it. And because of that, the contact wasn't clean and the effort wasn't threatening. So we reached the hour mark, which is the cue for further changes.
As so many goalkeepers do now, decided not to try and catch that, just get both fists behind it and punch it away. Probably didn't get enough height on it, really. Yotun, the Peruvian, who had a good World Cup coming on.
He's Orlando City's sole representative in this all-star squad, really struggling at club level at the moment, but Yotun has been a standout performer. They missed him, actually. Lost all 7 games when he was away with Peru at the World Cup. Darwin Quintero coming on as well. He was another late call-up along with Tyler Adams at the weekend when Zlatan Ibrahimovic and David Villa pulled out. Bradley Wright-Phillips is on, who's the only player actually in this All-Star squad to score a goal for the All-Stars. His only previous appearance was against Bayern Munich back in 2014. When he got the equalising goal that day. He's just become the quickest player in MLS history to reach 100 goals in the competition. Did it at DC United last weekend in his 159th game. He was Don Garber's pick, one of the two, the MLS commissioner, and he's straight into the action. The number 99 took off his shirt to reveal the number 100 as part of his celebration after that goal against DC.
Well, he's got excellent movement, loves to run in behind defenders. Everybody thought that when he scored all those goals playing alongside Thierry Henry, it was Thierry Henry that was the main man. Well, he's just continued to score more goals since Thierry Henry left. Been excellent for the New York Red Bulls.
Barco was one of the men to make way. They've also brought on Wilfred Zahibo of the New England Revolution. And here's Luca Clemenza. Juventus trying again to fashion a sight of goal for himself. Stefan able to make the save. The player was the subject of a bid from Bristol City in the English Championship earlier this month.
Yeah, just tries to cut across it with his left foot. Cut it inside. He's a good player. Clemenza plays on the right, but again a left-footed player.
Wright-Phillips, by the way, on for Giovinco. So he too had about half an hour of action. Alphonso Davies, the man making way for Yossi Yotun.
I'm not sure Yotun will be too happy about playing at left-back. As you said earlier, there's not too many left-backs in this squad, if any.
He has done it before, but it's certainly not his preferred position these days, the Peruvian.
No, he's a playmaker that likes to make things happen on the ball. He's got an excellent shot on him. Good left foot. I'm not sure the defensive side of the game is his major attribute. It's going to be tested out here, 1v1.
It goes from Clemenza again. It will break for João Cancelo against Zusi. Parkhurst in there as well. He's just come on for Aaron Long, whose sterling service has come to its conclusion. Both Parkhurst and Zusi playing in a 6th All-Stars game. Michael Parkhurst 13 years after his first.
And he just seems to get better and better, Parkhurst. Plays alongside Gonzalo Perez for Atlanta United. He seems to be the calming influence, reads the game well, decent in the air. May not be the quickest, but he's certainly got a quick brain.
First selected back in 2005. He started against Celtic in 2007, against Bayern 7 years later as well. He had spells in Denmark and Germany in between. The gap between his first and most recent All-Stars call-up the 4th longest in MLS history. At the age of 34. Information that Zahibo came on in a like-for-like change in place of Jonathan Dos Santos. And this is very promising for Juventus. He covered good ground there, Desilio forward from full-back.
Well, just showing his versatility, Desilio. First came onto the scene at AC Milan. Can play right-back, left-back. Very controlled player. Still really to fulfill his potential, I would say.
Darwin Quintero has been in really good form recently for Minnesota United. He joined as their first designated player in April. Started every game since, and he's won the free kick here. Quintero again, the Colombian, 9 goals so far this season. He's nicknamed the goal scientist because apparently he's named after Charles Darwin. Certainly making a name for himself in MLS after a successful career in Mexico as well, particularly with Santos Laguna, rather less so maybe with Club America before he switched to Minnesota.
Zahibo on the ball here, the powerful midfield man.
There's Yotun joining in with the attack whenever possible, even if he is nominally playing at left back. A year on since his move to MLS to Orlando from Malmo. Midway point now of this second half. The good news for us anyway is that the substitutions are done with, because everybody now has had a game at some stage. In terms of the All-Stars anyway, more to come maybe for Juve. It's a mathematical juggling act really as much as anything for Tata Martino, isn't it, to make sure nobody gets more minutes than they should, that he's fair to everybody, and the clubs as much as the players.
Well, your notes are usually very neat.
They're out the window.
Can't say they've been neat today.
Abandoned them about 5 minutes into the second half, I think. The flag is up against Albert Elise.
Yeah, handball given here against the defender.
In his favour, isn't it, this?
Elise the play, big diagonal. Elise trying to take his touch beyond the defender. His touch and go with it. It was in the box here. I think VAR is just having a word with the referee. Juventus players getting around, claiming it shouldn't have been a handball. Benatia saying it's outside the box. I think the referee's agreeing with him here.
He's given outside. Will just be checked anyway by Alex Chilovic, the video assistant referee. There's been no indication that a review is required. So Yotun will line up the free kick that follows. See how close it is to being inside the area. Smallest of margins we're talking about.
I think he's got to go for goal here.
He does, and he looks instead for Wright Phillips. Valeri couldn't get his shot away. And they could actually be caught on the counter-attack, depending on how this works out. So Cancelo. They got back to him.
He's looked good, hasn't he, Cancelo? Started off at right back, now drifted across to the other side of the field. Deschilio coming over to the near side.
Didn't make Portugal's World Cup squad. He was in the provisional party, but not the final cut. João Cancelo. He has 7 caps, 3 goals actually for his country as well.
He's actually playing in central midfield at the moment.
There's Clemenza. Time to take the first touch. Deschilio. It's just a fraction too high for the initial target. That was Stefano Beltrame. Now Fagioli, who will have a go. Zach Stefan right behind it, saw it all the way, I think.
He obviously fancies himself from distance, Fagioli. 2 or 3 shots he's now had from outside the box. They've all been decent.
He's the youngest player actually in the Juventus squad, at the age of just 17. He's come off the bench in all 3 matches of this US tour so far, the Italian under-17 international. Into the last 20 minutes. Juve getting ready to make another change, but on the front foot here. João Cancelo just couldn't quite get his shot away.
Well, he had an opportunity to pass the ball there to Clemenza. Here's that shot. Again, a bit of dip on it. Nice, comfortable height for the goalkeeper. Zach Stefan.
Now Albert Elise. With Wright Phillips in the middle, it was just behind him. Will reach Valeri though. Again, he was looking for BWP, but the clearance was pretty convincing, pretty comfortable. Alessandro Di Pardo, by the way, is the Juventus player that is getting ready to come on in the latest change. The 19-year-old midfield player. It will be his first appearance off the bench of this tour.
Just when we thought there weren't going to be any more subs.
No more all-star subs anyway. There's Valeri. Quite able to fire in Wright Phillips, but again there's only a fraction in it.
Actually, they haven't been on the same wavelength, Valeri and Wright Phillips, on 3 or 4 occasions. Wright Phillips started to make the run behind. Valeri wanted to play the ball into his feet.
I know good players can usually play with good players, but it must be difficult when the side is just thrown together and only have a couple of training sessions together.
When you play with people regularly, you know what they can and can't do, what pass they're looking for. You make the runs accordingly.
Phillips has had such a good understanding with Kaku this season, hasn't he? The Red Bulls, as that cannons away for a moment, it looked like it might be dangerous off Darwin Quintero. Second season in Atlanta for Tata Martino, after the expansion side made the playoffs under him last season. Coach that Max Allegri says he has great respect for. Martino, actually of Italian ancestry himself through his grandparents. Well, they'll make this change that I was talking about, and Di Pardo, the 19-year-old, comes on in place of João Cancelo. He's had rather longer on the field than most today, but the Portuguese does make way now. And the 2 points still to be made by Max Allegri.
Quite strongly by the looks of it from Max Allegri.
One of the big money summer signings, João Cancelo. The big money summer signing, of course, watching on in Turin at the moment. Returned to training on Monday, Cristiano Ronaldo, along with those that were in World Cup action beyond the group stage.
What a stadium this is.
Fantastic setting, isn't it? We'll wait for official confirmation whether it is a record MLS All-Stars attendance.
They create such an atmosphere inside the ground. The roof is on here, or the roof is closed here tonight.
Well, they have the 5 biggest crowds in MLS history. I think it has just been confirmed that they have broken that record, topping the number that turned up in Houston some 8 years ago to watch Manchester United sell out ahead of kickoff. There's only a few hundred seats, I think, left, with just a couple of days to go until the big game. Party atmosphere started on Saturday with a day-long party at the historic Fourth Ward Skate Park in Atlanta. And another concert the following night. All sorts of events around this big game. As the ball goes in here towards Bradley Wright Phillips.
Good cross again coming from that right-hand side. Bradley Wright Phillips to start with, tried to go in behind the defender and then try to get across the front of him. Just made his run a fraction too late.
We had the community MVP announced at half-time, and MLS Innovation Showcase being held with soccer leaders from around the world all arriving in Atlanta. An international plaza outside the stadium for 4 hours before the game. We had Ashanti singing the national anthem at the start of the game. They know how to put on a show. Players doing their bit as well. Will we get a winning goal, though? There's an offside flag up against Quintero.
Yeah, you were very pleased that Ashanti was singing the national anthem. I know she's one of your favourites.
I was more into 2 Chainz at the concert on Sunday night, actually.
You've lost me now.
Atlanta native who took centre stage. Recently released studio album, Pretty Girls Like Trap Music. Not one of your favourites?
I'm not sure it's one of your favourites. I think you're making it up.
I'm not making it up, but I wouldn't disagree that until my extensive research, I'd very little knowledge. Shall we move on with Zahibo on the ball?
Quintero, who's, as you said, had a really good few weeks. An outstanding player.
Made a huge difference to Minnesota, hasn't he, in their season recently. They're closing in on a possible playoff position in the Western Conference.
Yeah, they were looking down and out at one point before Quintero started to come to the fore. It's been a real fillip and boost for Adrian Heath at Minnesota United.
Like Atlanta, a second season side in MLS. And the Loons with a couple of players in this all-star squad after Quintero's late call-up. Of course, Zlatan Ibrahimovic only pulled out at the weekend, scored his hat-trick in that remarkable game for the Galaxy, 4-3 against Orlando City. And then cited fatigue afterwards. 3 games in a week he just played at that stage. Would have involved a cross-country trip from the west coast to the east to play on this synthetic surface as well. So understandable, maybe, the reasons behind his withdrawal.
But it means he doesn't play at the weekend.
Yeah, just going to say he can't now face Colorado at the weekend because of the MLS rule in place to prevent such pullouts. David Villa was the other omission from the original squad. He hasn't featured for over a month because of a knee injury at New York City FC. There's DeCilio.
Good defending, Yotun. Can he find a pass now?
He's covered plenty of ground, turning defence into attack. Yosemir Yotun. Like Phillips in the middle, Valeri in space just behind him, though. Blocked by Benatia. Zusi to return it. This is Elise. Good spell for the All-Stars. And Albert Elise going for the glory. Not quite.
Well, what play it was from Yotun. Won the ball off DeCilio, then ran into the space. He's allowed to run and run. Nobody really comes and closes him down. And then plays a really dangerous cutback. Valeri, that's going into the far corner. And Benatia not got a block in here. Interesting to see what will happen to Benatia when Bonucci comes back to Juventus. Chiellini, you would say, would be the #1 centre-half. Bonucci, if you're going to get him back, is going to be in there as well. Benatia was excellent last season. I thought he had a good World Cup as well.
Yeah, Chiellini is the new club captain for this season after Buffon's departure. So many options at centre-back.
That's why you expect Rugani at some point to make way.
Good ball slipped through as the flag stayed down. There was a real chance in there. Zach Steffen coming off his line to try and make himself big. It wouldn't have counted. The flag did go up in the end against Pardo, but I'm not sure he knew it.
Well, that's a tight call. It's a really good pass here. Was he offside? Yes, he was. Good decision by the assistant referee. Castaños is the player that tries to get in Pardo. Some of these Juventus youngsters have played well in this second half.
Certainly signs of encouragement for the future from Allegri. There's Fagioli, as he turned into a little bit of trouble though. Wright Phillips has won it back, opens up here for Diego Valeri, and it's a brilliant block on the line. Wright Phillips still with the chance maybe, if he can dig it out from under his feet, and wide it goes. Their best chance by some margin to win the game.
Well, I was talking about the youngsters. Fagioli gets caught on the ball here. Lovely little flick by Wright Phillips. Valeri does everything right, but that man Bonatti, who we've just been talking about, great awareness, just gets back and gets the block in for the second time. Perrin was beaten. Good defending.
Really, Bonatti featuring in this All-Stars game actually for the second time in his career. He was with Roma when they won it by 3-1 in 2013, as was Miralem Pjanic. Not often that an opposing player gets to feature in this MLS showpiece more than once. Bonatti was a key part of that Juventus defence last season that had the best defensive record in Serie A, conceded 4 fewer than Roma. But that's some effort, isn't it, from almost out of nothing there, which for a moment had Zach Steffen worried.
Well, it's Fernandez just getting on the ball, cuts across it, starts to dip and swerve. Doesn't get a touch, it doesn't come down in time. Really good effort from Fernandez.
They paid only around about €500,000 for him, reportedly, to PSV in January, Dutch under-17 international. Looks like he might be quite some signing. Albert Elise in there battling for it. Again, Bonatti gets the better of the duel, though. And Juventus come away with the ball.
Just overhit Castaños. Well, he missed that chance early on, probably his first touch when he came on. Elise, he's a powerful player, has caused a few problems down that right-hand side.
9 goals and 8 assists already for the Dynamo this season. Now a permanent addition to their squad after last year's loan. There's Quintero. He had Wright Phillips in the middle who was calling for it.
I think that's the player he was looking for. Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying as well. Quintero wins the ball back. Bradley Wright Phillips is pulling away from the defender Rugani. Just gets the wrong angle on it. He's not trying to chip the goalkeeper. Well, I hope he's not trying to chip the goalkeeper. He has done it in recent weeks, hasn't he?
He has, in spectacular fashion, including that hat-trick, Minnesota's first against Toronto. All of them were contenders for goal of the month, maybe. There's Valeri, looking again for Wright Phillips.
That's what Wright Phillips does well. When the ball went to Valeri, he just gets in between the two centre-halves. He's almost playing on the offside line. It just needed a better pass from Valeri, but they're beginning to get that understanding.
A little carelessly there. Quintero did well to win it. Valeri back to Darwin Quintero. Support arriving again here from Yotun. Well, both teams suggesting, going into the last 5 minutes now, that there could still be a winner without the need for a shootout. They are running out of time. There's Zahibo. Powerful presence, the Revs mount in the midfield. He's another of the All-Stars in his first MLS season. And here he is again on the ball.
They do have a version of the Icelandic thunderclap here inside this stadium. Not quite in tune on that occasion.
Not quite. have embraced the occasion, though, those Atlanta supporters, as they have their club. Against the odds, maybe, according to some. Certainly, Darren Eales, the president, felt they had something to prove. There was a perception, maybe, of Atlanta not necessarily being a real sporting city in terms of the loyalty of the supporters with a lot of the other franchises, but it's a very different case in MLS. And here come the All-Stars, all sorts of options for Quintero. He had Elise to his right, he had Wright Phillips to his left again. He looked to take it on himself.
Well, he tried to use the run of Elise just to buy himself that little bit of time. Never got the ball out of his feet. It's a good block by the defender in the end.
And it goes again from Valeri, Elise on the end of it. And the goalkeeper Perrin right behind it.
And he's giving the defender a hard time on that far side. Beruatu playing at left back at the moment.
He was the starting left back actually against Benfica at the weekend, and had a very tough first 45 minutes. Clemenza. Bacilio in support and in some space. Back to Luca Clemenza again, and Leandro Fernandez. There's the Dutchman once more, but it's an errant touch from him. Phillips alert to the opportunity. Valeri taking over. Quintero taking on Benatia. Elise arriving in support. It's still with Darwin Quintero. Was he pulled back? He was there, right on the edge of the area, as the referee reaches for his yellow card.
Once again, Quintero trying to go himself, use the runs of other players just to try and buy himself that bit of time. It's Fernandez just grabs his shirt there, gets the yellow card. He was just about to pull the trigger as well. You can see it's outside the box. The right decision by the referee, and right to book him. He's got to get his wall right here, Perrin.
Could still be a problem for the goalkeeper from the free kick that will follow. He did make a save in a penalty shootout, though, against Benfica at the weekend. Might be involved in another one, unless the All-Stars can do something from the set piece here.
Yotun over it with his left foot. Also Valeri. And Quintero. Three good dead ball specialists.
Not short of options in that respect, are they, the All-Stars, as we go into the last minute of the 90. It will be Yosemir Yotun. Not quite.
Never coming down in time. Always going to be a yard or so over the bar. Perrin's got a good look at it. I think he'd have got it anyway. Moved across his goal pretty quickly.
He's having an impressive season in front of goal by his standards, 3 so far, albeit 2 of those this season from the penalty spot. And that's confirmation of that record attendance, 72,317.
And it's been a good game and a good occasion.
And we may still have the spectacle of penalties to come, but a minimum of 3 added minutes we're expecting to be added from here. That will be a Juventus free kick in dangerous territory. Challenge this time was an awkward one from Yotun.
He can't win the ball from that position. He's got to go through the player to get to it. Now a chance for Juventus, either to bend this into a dangerous area or get the shot away. Wants 3 in the wall, so he's saying. Zach Steffen. It will be the left foot of Clemenza.
I've had confirmation of the 3 added minutes. There's Clemenza straight at the 3-man wall, gets a second chance though, and it flashed just a fraction wide. They're claiming the deflection on the way through. That could easily have crept the other side of the woodwork.
Well, the free kick was very poor, but The second shot was much better. The deflection, I think, came off a Juve player. The referee's had a decent game.
There's Elise. Both teams are still going for the win. Bradley Wright-Phillips trying to get on the end of this. Well-timed challenge to deny him.
Just had enough pace there, didn't he, Rugani?
Elise again. There's no way past Leandro Fernandez.
Seen him make these runs so often. Diagonal run for a straight pass. Could he have just stretched and had a little toe poke at it? Good defending, Rugani.
Now it's the only one that's going to get through the full 90. Last minute of added time. It does appear as if the All-Stars game will finish 1-1 for a second season in succession, and again go to penalties, unless there's a dramatic twist here.
Well, is he going to stay at Juventus, or is he going to be on his way somewhere? Highly rated. A lot of big clubs looking at him. They know his game time could be limited.
One last chance perhaps for Juve here. Just about got back to him. Parkhurst it is that comes away with the ball. The opportunity in there was for Stefano Beltrame. Well, there goes the full-time whistle, so we will go to a penalty shootout. Zach Steffen is about to get even busier. No further addition to the half-time score. So Steffen keeping a clean sheet in his 45 minutes. Bradley Wright-Phillips had opportunities, didn't he, to win it for the All-Stars. Both sides actually had chances to settle this in the 90, but weren't able to take them, so the drama goes on. The spectacle goes on, the shootout is on the way, but after 90 minutes at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, it's ended the MLS All-Stars 1, Juventus 1. Let's have a look at the statistics then. Plenty of opportunities for both sides, as I was talking about, highlighted there. 16 attempts from the All-Stars, 17 from Juventus. Not quite as accurate with those chances. Very little in it in terms of the possession either. And for a fixture such as this, effectively an exhibition game, it was pretty competitive stuff, wasn't it? Shown by the fouls committed there, a couple of yellow cards for Juventus as well. So 1-1 after the 90 minutes. Let's look at the major moments so far. First chance was early on for the All-Stars. The New York Red Bulls defender, Aaron Long, with a header off the bar.
It's a good header as well, going away from goal. Beat Szczesny. Just off the top of the crossbar.
This was the opening goal, which followed fairly shortly afterwards. Well-taken header from Andrea Favilli.
A good cross from Pereira with his left foot. Favilli gets across the front of Simon. Doesn't defend it well enough, and he looked a good centre-forward when he was on in that first half, Favilli.
Third goal of his tour, but the All-Stars were level. Shortly afterwards, Joseph Martinez involved here. Carlos Vela's effort was saved by Szczesny. Piatti keeps it alive, and Martinez, the MLS top scorer this season, there to profit.
Well, it was good play all round. First of all, Almiron with the cross. Martinez with the brilliant leap. He's not the biggest player. He's got great spring, and then he comes alive again. He's brave, he's determined, and in the end he gets there and gets his goal, as he so often does. Piatti, the player that headed it back into the danger area.
So they were behind for just 5 minutes. They almost went ahead before half-time. Ezekiel Barco denied by Szczesny.
Well, Almiron's run, then Giovinco with a little chip across. Barco, perfect technique, just using the inside of his foot to get it across the goalkeeper.
No further scoring in the second half, but it wasn't for the want of trying. Albert Elise on at the break had an early opportunity, which he put straight at the goalkeeper.
It's a poor start by Benatia to go for the ball away. And it's not a particularly good finish from Elise either.
Benatia did rather better here, though, when the All-Stars were close to winning it. Diego Valeri's effort saved on the line.
Well, this is the point where they're starting to lose possession in dangerous areas, Juventus. midfield player, the youngster, loses it. Valeri's in. You realise he can't get a block in, so he goes in behind the goalkeeper. Great defending from Benatia.
Chances kept coming at both ends, really. This was an opportunistic effort from distance from the young Dutchman Fernandes.
Oh, really good strike, cuts across it, starts to dip, not quite in time.
And then one final chance for the Italian champions. Clemenza's free kick, Cannon back to him, he was closer with the second effort, but 1-1 it finished. Which means we have a penalty shootout. Juventus have had a little bit of practice recently with their 4-2 win on penalty kicks against Benfica at Red Bull Arena on Saturday. The All-Stars looking to atone for defeat on penalties last year against Real Madrid.
Well, a lot of youngsters are going to be taking these penalties for Juventus. A lot of pressure on these players. Fagioli, the midfield player, had a couple of decent shots from distance in that second half. He's going to take the first one up against Zach Steffen.
He also took the opening penalty against Benfica at the weekend and scored it. The youngest player in the Juventus squad. But in Zach Steffen, he is facing a penalty-saving specialist, really. The Columbus Crew goalkeeper has excelled from the spot. So 3 penalties last season and another in the playoffs. Big imposing USA international goalkeeper.
Straight run up here from Fagioli.
First kick of the shootout. And Nicola Fagioli will send the goalkeeper the wrong way. Really coolly taken, and he just kept it the right side of the post.
Well, I said he was going to have a run up. He actually walked up to it for most of the time, and then just quickened his last stride. And couldn't get any better than that off the inside of the post. No chance for the goalkeeper.
And first up for the All-Stars here is Graham Zusi, playing his 6th All-Stars match. His 10th MLS season with Sporting Kansas City. Over half a century of caps for the USA. He's up against Mattia Perrin here. And Zusi will score.
Well,
One more.
Sorry, it's a penalty you see so often now. Waiting for the goalkeeper to dive one way and just passing it down the middle of the goal. Confident from Zusi.
Next up for Juventus, Stefano Beltrame, another of the second half substitutes. Back from a loan spell with go-ahead Eagles last season in the Eredivisie in the Netherlands. He'll take Juventus' second penalty, it's a powerful one. And he scores with real confidence.
Well, he looked as though he's rushing everything when he walked up to and put the ball down, but this is as good as you'll get. Beats the goalkeeper for pace. It's a nice height for the goalkeeper. He just can't get that right hand out far enough. And again, it's right into the corner.
See Yotun. He took his first 2 career penalties for Orlando earlier this season and scored them both. The Peruvian international. And second up for the All-Stars. Yotun scores as well, convincingly. Really good from the spot so far.
As we said during commentary, he's got a lovely left foot. Just wraps his foot round it here. Looks though he's going to pass it into one corner, just wraps his foot round it and bends it into the other. Four excellent penalties.
Can it continue? Boris Castaños to take the third kick for Juventus. 20-year-old Cypriot international. Well, this time Zach Steffen guessed the right way by going left, but he couldn't keep it out. On we go.
You know, he's just beaten by the pace. I always talk about the height. It's a nice height for the goalkeeper. Just can't get his hands behind it. Just brushes off the top of his fingertips. Good job he hit it with power. It wasn't a particularly good penalty from that man there, and he knows it. Have a little wry smile as he walks back.
And the expression said it all, didn't it? Up next, the experienced Diego Valeri. Regular scorer from the spot for Portland. He goes for power, and he makes it 3-3.
Perrin chooses the right way, but again, it's the height that beats the goalkeeper. Goes above his left arm.
Leandro Fernandez is going to take the next one. The young players stepping up to assume responsibility for Juventus. 18 years of age, the Dutchman, against Zach Steffen. Well, it's as close maybe as we've come so far, but he's got the job done. 4-3 now, Juventus lead in the shootout.
Once again going off the inside of the post. Goalkeeper chooses the right one. It's underneath him, underneath his leading arm.
Well, last year, Dom Dwyer and Giovanni Dos Santos were the all-stars who failed from the spot, but nobody has put a foot out of place so far. Bradley Wright Phillips to take this one, and he's missed it. Well, he doesn't take penalties despite his century of MLS goals, and maybe that is why. That could be the decisive moment in the shootout. Juventus are one kick away from winning it.
He doesn't make the right connection here, scuffs it slightly. Perrin chooses the right way as well. He telegraphed where he was going to hit that, but he's still got to get it on target.
So this to win it. It's going to be Mattia De Cilio to take the potentially winning penalty kick for Juventus, and scores. And the All-Stars are beaten on penalties for the second season running. It's the Italian champions that take the honours in Atlanta. De Cilio kept his composure with the winning kick. 5-3 on penalties to Juventus after the 1-1 draw.
Well, apart from the one penalty, there was some really confident penalty taking going on there. De Cilio scores the winner, and there's the man that missed. And what a shame for him. Been such a great goal scorer in MLS for the last 3 or 4 years.